Welcome back to Wordy and Nerdy. With us
Yes. John?
and Rin.
Yeah.
You should know that by now, but if you don't, then welcome back or to the channel. That doesn't make any sense. Whatever. Welcome. And it's been a while, but today we wanted to talk about a movie we just saw 2 days ago, A Quiet Place Part 2.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So, this was, if you're not familiar, Quiet Place. This is a sequel to the piece that came out a couple of years ago, what, 2017 or something?
Yeah, it's about 3 or 4 years ago.
By John Krasinski of The Office fame, who got dabbled his hand in directing. He just needs to be a lot of like comedy actors who are going into like directing, like Jordan Peele.
Yeah, Jordan Peele. I can't remember other ones, but...
Or like horror. It's like from
Yeah.
comedy to horror direction. I think it's interesting.
Don't quote me on this, but is this the first one that Jim from The Office directed? The Quiet Place one?
I think it might be. I'm not gonna swear to that because I know he did. What did he
Yeah.
do, like Jack Ryan or something? But I don't know if that was before or after.
No, I don't think he directed it. I think he just starred.
Yeah, I think he at least wrote it. I'm not sure. I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, this is what I think it definitely is his horror debut, and he played one of the main characters with his wife, his real life wife, Emily Blunt, alongside him, and then it was kind of groundbreaking because they had most of the first film was almost entirely without dialogue. Like there was only a very limited sections of very limited dialogue, and and also the actress. So one of the characters' daughter is deaf, and she has hearing aid and stuff. And she's the actress who I'm gonna have to look up what her name is because I don't know.
But it's really amazing for like the first one because, like you said, there's no audio at all, and it's mostly told through visuals.
Yeah, Quiet Place came out in 2018. It feels like longer ago, but
oh yeah, it feels
COVID made
way
time stop
longer.
existing. Millicent Simmons, I believe is her name, and she is deaf in real life. So that's pretty cool. That for representation, it's nice to have that. I know that a lot of people, they want to see more representation of the yes, here you go. Of sign, and they communicated with sign language primarily in that movie and in this movie, but it's a little bit different. There's more dialogue in this one.
Before we start the review for Quiet Place 2, I have a quiz for you.
Oh, goody.
A quiz. Are you ready?
No.
All right. So, name Emily Blunt's character name in the movie.
No idea.
Here are your 4 options: Sarah, Elizabeth, Evelyn, or Claire.
Evelyn?
Correct.
Nice.
Next one. What is John Krasinski's character name? John, Lee, Bill, or George?
Lee.
Correct. And last one. The deaf girl's character's name. Erin, York, Yolo, Rin.
Read those options again. What?
Erin, York, Yolo, Rinja. Ringe.
What? What is Ringe?
Reagan.
What? How did you get Ringe out of Reagan? All right, so I'm gonna go with Reagan since you can't pronounce it. So I'm assuming you didn't make it up.
Oh, that's gonna be good.
No, no, don't hide your shame. Ringe. What is Ringe?
Oh God, I'm 24 years old and I can't pronounce her names.
Ringe.
Ringe.
I don't even have a beginning. I don't even have a guess for how you got there. But
Yeah.
anyway, okay, I did pretty good. 3 out of 3.
I'm trying to make the third one like the answer is really horrible, like YOLO.
Yeah, YOLO. Yeah, I knew it wasn't
Yeah.
that. But you couldn't freaking read one of them, so I was like, well, that's the one. Yeah, it's fun. I guess I just sort of have this like subconscious memory of seeing it in the credits, but they really don't say each other's names.
No.
Hardly ever in the movie.
I'm surprised how much you got correct.
Yeah. What was the son's name? Was I right that it was Elliot?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the one time that the mother says Elliot when he passes out, okay, we'll get to it. First off, letting you know that this is going to have spoilers because I personally have no use for spoiler-free reviews. I don't like. I don't know. I don't want to have to talk really carefully about and try to avoid giving spoilers. So this is not spoiler. This is spoiler. This is a spoiler review.
Because spoilers are more fun than
Yes.
non-spoilers.
Yeah, because we actually talk about the movie. I mean, if you talk, especially if you talk about like a horror or suspense film without spoilers, what are you going to say about it? It was quiet, and it was a place. Anywho, so oh my god. So, what did you think of A Quiet Place Part 2?
I thought it was as good as the first one for me. And I was afraid that The Quiet Place Part 2 was kind of forced out because I thought the first one had a beginning and end, and there didn't really seem a need for a sequel.
Yeah, it seemed like a clean ending.
Yeah. And that I was afraid every time when Hollywood makes a forced sequel, it comes out and it's terrible.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, I had the same. I honestly didn't even know they were making a part 2 until you mentioned wanting to go see it, and I thought the same thing. Like the first one, it just seemed like a one and done situation. I mean, it kind of ended on a cliffhanger, kind of, but like not even. I mean, it's just like, okay, she's gonna keep fighting the monsters. Like, fine, whatever. She cocks the gun, roll credits. Like, I thought that was a clean ending. I don't feel like it needed a sequel. But I thought that this was okay. It was suspenseful. I mean, it kind of played some of the same tricks as the last movie. Like the climax and how they defeat the monsters was the exact same, basically. Even the same character doing it. So that felt a little cut and pasted. But they gave more focus to Reagan. Well, I mean, Reagan was kind of a big character in the first one, too. Her relationship with her dad was kind of at the focal point of that movie. In this movie, it starts out with a flashback sequence, basically kind of giving us some background as to how the whole thing started, which I guess there was like a meteor or some kind of explosion or something, and then all of a sudden these monsters started attacking everything.
It looks like they came from a different planet. People were like speculating before the movie came out, like if it was like a military experiment or something else like that, but I think it's confirmed like it was aliens. Yeah,
I mean, they don't really get into where exactly it came from. It's just like they see, like they're at a baseball game for Elliot, the older kid, and they see he keeps striking out, and then like he's on his last strike when he looks up and sees a cloud, and then everybody else sees it, and everybody starts freaking out and trying to get in their cars and run away, and then the monsters show up out of nowhere and start killing people, and John Krasinski's character figures out pretty quickly that apparently they respond to sound, so you have to be quiet. Which I don't know how he knew that. And I also told John, we were watching it, and like, so at one point, John's character and Reagan, they run and they hide in this like restaurant or something with a bunch of other people, and everybody is like super quiet. And I'm like, there is no freaking way. I've been around people enough to tell you that if something like this was happening, there would be at least one person screaming hysterically that would not ever calm down. Like, there's no way you'd get all those people to just be perfectly quiet in there. And of course, some girl's phone goes off, and then the monster breaks into the door or whatever. Which brings me to a beef I have with the film, which shows up at the beginning of the movie and then shows up kind of toward the end. And that's that. So the classic horror movie trope that the black character always dies first.
You mean like at pretty much every horror movie?
Yeah, pretty much every horror movie. Yeah, it's so common that even like Scary Movie spoofed it or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, like every black character dies in this movie. As far as I can tell. Just about every single one.
I think there was a total of 4 of them.
Yeah, there were about 5. I think there were 5. There weren't that many to begin with.
Yeah.
But all of them that were there died except for that one little kid.
Yep.
And like they all got, and it was just like, so it was almost like a joke. It was almost like after, you couldn't help but notice it after the 3rd or 4th time it happened. It's like, is this on purpose? Like, I don't think it was, but like, it's just like, it was so, I mean, obviously other characters of other races die as well, but like, it was very telling that of the very few black characters we saw, and there, I mean, you could count on one hand how many black characters there were in this movie at all. And of the very few we saw, they all died. Like the girl whose phone went off was black. I think her boyfriend was too, and they both died, presumably. The cop that they see at the beginning, he died trying to fend off one of the monsters. Then later in the movie, there's
a guy at the well.
The guy at the well. And then there was the one character played by, I'm going to get his name right, I promise. Hang on a second.
And he's so little in the movie, he doesn't even have a character's name.
Jimon Honsu.
Yeah. His character's name, Man on Island.
Man on Islands. Yes.
It doesn't even have.
He doesn't even have a name, and like Jimon Hansu just like deserves so much better than that. Like he's such a good actor. He was in the movie for like a total of 10 minutes, didn't have a name, had a couple of lines, and then died like immediately.
I honestly really enjoy him. He is in Guardians of the Galaxy 1, Shazam, and a lot of other movies. And I do agree he needs more screen time. And I don't know why his character all of a sudden. Okay, well, spoilers. Even though they pretty much go to this radio place, and the monster's already chasing them. And all of a sudden, he decides, since the monster lost them, maybe in the car, that to check on his son immediately.
It was literally almost it was almost framed like a comedy, even though it was a serious moment. But the way it happened was almost comedic because it was like, okay, so Jimmy Hansu's character, like he gets in the car, and him and okay, we'll back up a little bit. So the main plot of the film is that Reagan, the deaf girl, and comes up with a plan. She hears her brother hears on the radio, somebody's playing Somewhere on the Sea. So like after they run and they get and hide in some bunker, they find one of their old friends, somebody they knew before the monster started attacking, and he has like this secret bunker that he's been hiding in, and so he lets them stay with him. And so they're all hanging out there, and they realize that they can catch certain radio signals while they're underground. And her brother notices that they're playing Somewhere Beyond the Sea, Somewhere Beyond the Sea, over and over again. And Reagan pieces together that must mean it's a signal. Somebody's trying to tell us to go beyond the sea to this island where maybe we can be safe from the monsters. And so she tells her brother, she hatches a plan to go try to find the island and save everyone, or to go and at least hide from the monsters there. And her brother tells her it's a stupid idea, which it is, and that their mother will never let them do it. So she ends up running away in the middle of the night to do it anyway.
The reason why it's stupid is because she's deaf, and she's not going to be able to hear any noise she makes if it's too loud for the monsters. She went alone. She did not tell anyone where she was going.
Yeah, I mean, her brother knew where she was going, because she did tell him what the plan was. Yeah. But, and so she goes off. Then when the mother wakes up, she realizes she's gone, and she sends the guy out to, the one played by Cillian Murphy, I think, to...
Pretty much John Krasinski's baseball father friend.
Yeah. And he... Yeah, so anyway, he sends his... that IMDb picture was wrong. Anyway, the mother sends, the Cillian Murphy's character after her, and he finds her, and he's trying to bring her back to the bunker, but she convinces him to help her go and try to find the island. So they do. And there's this reference to like how all of the people, or most of the people who are still out there, have kind of gone savage or something. Yep. Like they don't talk, and they're just kind of like almost ghoulish. Like they run into them on the docks when they're trying to find a boat to get to the island, and like first they see this little girl that looks like she needs help, and Cillian Murphy's character goes up and tries to talk to her, and she wraps a noose around his neck and almost chokes him to death. Yep. And then all of these other creatures, I mean, they're people, but they're like all these other just, monstrous humans come out and start like harassing them and taking their supplies and stuff. And it's like, why did this group of humans go savage when like none of John Krasinski's family did, and this guy didn't either? Like, why? I mean, why?
They also looked like they had like scurvy or something, because all their eyes were completely red for some reason. Yeah. They never really explained that.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even really notice that. But yeah, I mean, they were just like, I don't know if that's a scurvy. That's more
well, they were all skinny.
Yeah, they
bare
were.
Bones.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they were like just living off the land and stuff like that, but it's just interesting. Like, that was just kind of weird. But anyway, so they get attacked by these people, and they end up escaping, and they do end up getting on a boat and going to the island. But one of the monsters gets on another boat and like floats there, because the monsters can't swim. So, but one monster like happens to get on the boat and like floats over there, but they don't know that right away. So yeah, they get to the island, and that's when they meet Jimon Hansu's character and a bunch of other people, and they're like, "Hey, we've just been vibing here." Apparently, they said that like when things started happening, the National Guard realized, or the Coast Guard or something, realized that they couldn't swim. So
Yeah.
they started loading up boats to get people to the island so that they could be safe. But then something happened where people were like pushing or something.
Well, because I think it was supply and demand, and people just rushed to save their own lives and was willing to pretty much push over and make enough noise to attract a whole bunch of monsters. And probably, like he said, only 2 ships.
Yeah, it
made
was like 12 ships were prepared to take
Yeah.
them, and only 2 made it out.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, for 12 wouldn't have gotten that many people anyway. But even if they had all made it, but yeah, so the monsters like destroyed all the other ships. But for some reason, there are still a bunch of ships in the dock. So you'd think at least a few other people would have gotten the idea to grab a boat and try to go over to the island.
Well, we don't know if it was that exact dock that they took off at the beginning.
I mean, I guess not.
Yeah.
But I mean, but it must be near. It must be near because
Yeah.
that's the boat that. I mean, if Reagan figured out that that's the boat that they needed to take to get to the island, somebody else probably could have figured that out.
Yeah, that's
If they
true.
knew that an island existed, if they knew that certain people had escaped to the island previously, then they probably hop on a boat and try to find an island. If you knew that the monsters couldn't swim, you'd try to probably live on a boat anyway.
That's another problem. For like John Krasinski character and for Quiet Place Part 1, they didn't even know that the monsters could swim or anything.
Yeah, I don't think that they did know that.
No.
And also, because he was like keeping notes about the different
Yeah.
things about it. But also, the thing that bothered me in the first movie was that they he takes Reagan to the waterfall and he's like, "We can talk and shout here because they can't hear us." Then why don't you live near the waterfall? What in the world? And that thing comes back. There's a callback to that because then like there's a scene where Elliot's character, the little boy, he is staying home and he's taking care of the baby while Emily Blunt's character goes to find medical supplies because earlier the boy got his leg caught in a bear trap. It was a pretty horrific
probably
scene.
most gruesome
It
scene.
was awful. And so
He shouldn't be able to walk.
yeah,
Like,
no, he was like hobbling
it's-
within like a day, and like there's no
It's
that's.
a bear trap.
And also they said like, oh, thankfully it didn't reach the bone. I'm like, bull crap. Like the skin on your foot's pretty skinny, it's pretty thin anyway.
Yeah.
And like it's a bear trap. Like
And
a
a
little
kid.
boy's foot in a bear trap. You're not gonna tell me that didn't reach bone.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it was rough. But so anyway, he's like kind of laid up in bed and he's taking care of the baby who was born in the last movie, of course. And because these children in this movie are just the dumbest children in all of history, because if you recall, Reagan got her little brother killed in the last movie when she gave him a freaking toy that made noise, like he wasn't going to push the button and make noise with it. And so in this movie, Emily Blunt leaves the brother to take care of the baby while she goes and gets some medical supplies. And he rocks the baby, and then just kind of out of nowhere, I mean, please correct me if there was a reason I'm missing, but as far as I can tell, for no reason, he sets the baby down and decides to go exploring. And like he just like goes out from the relative safety of the bunker because they established that it's like 3 feet of concrete, so unless the monster is directly above you, they can't hear you. So they're relatively safe in the bunker. Plus there's oxygen and like his mother just said, "Stay in the bunker. I don't want to lose you.
Yeah.
I've already lost like 2 of my kids. Like stay."
I have to go out and get more oxygen for
Yeah.
you because you broke your leg.
Yeah.
And you need to use that.
Well, the oxygen was for the baby.
Well, he was also using it too.
He wasn't using it until he was in the safe. I don't think.
No, like remember, like when he first broke the leg, they were giving him the oxygen and the earphones and stuff to numb the pain.
I remember the earphones. I don't remember them giving him oxygen. Why would the oxygen numb the pain?
I don't know.
I mean, maybe you're right. I don't remember that though. I remember the earphones. I don't remember him having oxygen until he was in the safe with the baby.
Maybe.
But I know she was getting him pain meds.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I don't remember. But regardless, she was getting oxygen and she was getting pain meds. And so, but he leaves the bunker, leaves the baby down there, and goes walking around the room. Heaven knows what he's even looking for. Like, why are you leaving? You're the one person left to take care of this baby, and you just decide to leave before your mother gets back. And as he's wandering around, he ends up finding the corpse of Cillian Murphy's character's wife, I think it was that, because it's established that his wife died. And so he finds her corpse and freaks out and steps back and, of course, knocks a bunch of crap over and makes a lot of noise, and then the monster shows up. And so now the monster knows where the bunker is, so good job, Elliot. Now you've compromised your hiding space. And Emily Blunt comes back realizing that the monster has her kids, so she starts making noise with a gun to distract the monster. And then the sprinklers end up turning on, and it creates the rushing water noise, which stops the monster from being able to distinguish different sounds. So then she's able to sneak back down there, and she has time, just barely, to grab the baby and Elliot and go into the little thingamahoos. Actually, no, the baby and Elliot are already in the safe, and he accidentally locked it, so they were trapped in there and they were running out of oxygen. And so she runs in there and manages to open it and save them from suffocating. And then she hides in there, and they manage to just barely get away from the monster for the moment. And
the problem with that kid, like, I don't. We talked about it in the movie. Like, why at that instant? Why?
Yeah.
It's like makes no sense. Emily Blunt gave him a simple plan of just basically, all I want you to do is stay here.
Literally stay here and take care of the baby. That's all he had to do. He was injured anyway, so I don't know how he even made it that far. It was just so pointless for him to. It was literally like, okay, the movie's like, we need tension, we need the monster to show up, so the boy's got to do something stupid.
Yeah, but I think that was my only, I guess, minor flaw. Because other than that, I really enjoy this movie. Like, to me, I feel like they cut between what was happening to Emily Blunt and the kid, and with the
Reagan and Cillian.
Cillian together, and they built like the tension scenes back and forth, and they cut.
Yeah, that was shot pretty well, because I think that was happening at the same time that they were being assaulted by the people on the dock or whatever. That was, like, the tension was framed well. There are definitely some tense moments that are taken care of well. Yeah. But I guess what just frustrates me about it is that in both movies, characters do things that are just so mind-numbingly idiotic, and I can't sympathize. Like I said, in the first movie when Reagan gives her brother the batteries for the toy, that is unforgivably stupid. Like, she is, I mean, if she had been a little girl, maybe, but she was, like 13, 14, she was definitely old enough to know that was a bad idea. Like, that was just unfathomably idiotic, and I'm almost as angry with her as I am with her parents, who let their youngest and most vulnerable child, who's liable to make more noise anyway because he doesn't know what's going on, he's a baby, and they let him just walk behind them. He was he was way behind everybody else, and they weren't even watching him. And of course he presses the toy, and of course it makes noise, and they don't even have time to even try to save him from the monster because he's like 10 yards away. I'm like, what parent in the world would leave their like 2-year-old to just kind of wander about while there's deadly monsters hanging out? That made me so upset in the first movie. And then to this movie, when the boy's just like leaving his baby sister to go wandering for no reason, it's just like, what is wrong with y'all? It just frustrates me when characters just do absolutely asinine things for no reason.
Well, that's the trope for a horror movie.
I mean, I know, but like, these are supposed to be cerebral or smart horror, and then you still got characters doing dumbass things just because.
Things. Like, I agree with you, that parent thing was really dumb, but that was like the only really dumb thing that the parent did.
Well, not building a shelter by the waterfall was also pretty stupid. I mean, he took the time to rig up like the fireworks display to distract when his wife was giving birth, instead of just taking her to the waterfall to give birth. Yeah, there's no good reason for that. I mean, you can't include a scene where he's like, wow, so if you sit near the waterfall, we're totally immune from the monsters. Then stay at the waterfall. What are you doing? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Anywho.
And also, if everyone knows that the weakness was water, why doesn't everyone just find a random boat and travel?
Yeah, finding a boat and a houseboat. And maybe they did know that the weakness is water, but, like, I mean, Reagan figures out that feedback distracts them, which you'd think that more people would figure that out.
Yeah. Because
that's the climax of the first movie, and that's basically what happens in this movie, too. Like, she's carrying around this microphone and speaker, and she puts her hearing aid up to the mic to create feedback whenever the monsters are near to kind of drive them away because the feedback irritates them. And then the climax, she ends up putting her hearing aid by this microphone in a radio station, which broadcasts a loud signal, which distracts the monster long enough for her to, like, stab him in the neck with a microphone stand. And that's that. At the same time, now that was another cool scene, how it's lined up to where Reagan is getting ready to kill the one monster that made it to the island. I think let me back up for a second, because I took the long way around to explaining that Jimon Hansu's character, when I said it was kind of like a comedy, because so he and Cillian Murphy and Reagan get in the car and drive and try to lure the monster away from the village, because the monster showed up and started attacking the little island. So he's like honking the horn to like distract the monster and lead it away. Okay, fine. So then they get to the radio station, and they like slide under this garage type thing. and Jimon's like, I gotta. What if we lost him? I gotta go back and save my family, and like immediately this monster like reaches out from under him and just kills him. It's like it was almost like a joke. It was just like, I must save my family. It was just like, it was the most like ridiculous. I'm just like, why? Like the one black character that did anything at all in this movie and had any kind of lines died like within 5 minutes. So yeah, but anyway, yeah. So that she does the feedback thing, the trick again, and it's at the same time as Elliot, who's been completely useless this entire time, finally does something of worth because his mother's leg got tore up by the monster, so she can't really move. So he takes the microphone and the speaker, and actually, I think Reagan's the one who makes the microphone feedback loop for the radio station. And Elliot hears it because he's listening to the radio station, so he takes out his headphones and uses the speaker to drive away the monster and then shoots it.
Yep. But, like, I do agree with you that it pretty much does have the same ending about the first, but I feel like they accomplish more in this movie because now that everyone that has a radio, like the kid, will know if I play the sound, it's going to drive the monster crazy and give me a chance to shoot it, distract it, run away, either one of those.
I mean, yeah, like more people are aware of it now. It's a matter of like finding something that consistently makes that sound. Because, like, at some point, I assume that Elliot and Evelyn and the baby are going to have to try to make it to the island themselves, since it's the only place that's safe.
Now, I don't know much about hearing aids. Does that thing have a battery or anything, or does it just continuously work? Because...
I don't know much about hearing aids either, but I do assume that it has a battery.
Yeah, my one worry about the hearing aid, what happens if it runs out of battery?
The only thing I would say is that since they're in the radio station, I'm sure there's more than one microphone, so they could probably create a feedback loop or something else if they didn't have the hearing aid.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, it was good, but like I said, this is why I'm always talking about like implicit bias and having diversity in the writer's room, because I don't think that John Krasinski sat down and said, I'm going to kill all the black folks, but like, that's what happened, and like, nobody noticed it at any point and said, hey, wait a minute, this looks a little sus. And I just think that that's, interesting. But overall, it was entertaining. It was certainly suspenseful. I mean, there were definitely moments where it was like, oh, all right, and I'm like sitting here like holding on to each other, like, all right, I don't know what's going to happen. I kept wanting to go get a popcorn refill, but I didn't want to miss anything, so yeah.
I do say that's like really a good sign if you wanted to go get popcorn and you didn't want to leave because of how entertaining and amazing it was.
That's true, although that's true of me for just about any movie that I'm watching. I'd never want
really?
to miss anything. Yeah, like the one I had to leave during Endgame because I was about to piss myself, and I hated that, but I had to leave for like 2 minutes because like it was too much. But I almost never try to leave for movies unless it's like just really bad.
For me, sometimes I leave for like comedies that are not working for me.
Yeah, but you also watch every movie that you like 60 times in the theaters, and you just spend money on movies limitlessly. So some of us don't have that experience. Some of us pay for a movie ticket, and we're gonna get what we paid for. I didn't even walk out of Cats. All right.
You wanna give a next movie review, Cats?
I've already reviewed that one. It sucks. I mean, you all knew that. No one needs to tell you that Cats is a bad movie.
10 out of 10, best movie ever?
10 out of 10. James Corden gets hit in the nuts. Can't recommend enough. But yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. I hope they don't make a part 3. I just don't think that's necessary. I don't think part 2 is necessary. But yeah, it's basically the same movie. I mean, it's, it's fine. It's passable. It's interesting enough. But like, I wouldn't call it a masterpiece.
I would actually, I don't know, I think I'll be obvious that I would be looking forward to a part 3.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, what else can they do? Yeah. You can't make noise. The monster will eat you. Got to get to the island to be safe. What else are they going to do with that story?
Well, now they have a weapon. Now everyone knows about that weapon. Now they can take back.
I don't know if everybody knows about it, just the people on the island.
Yeah, but now they have to get everyone connected to know about that sound to take back Earth from the monsters.
I mean, I guess. I don't know. And that's another thing. Like, where is the U.S. government? No, I mean, I know I'm asking too many questions. This is like, you're not supposed to think about it that hard, but like, where is the U.S. government? What are they doing? Because I would have to think that somebody in the CIA or somewhere would have at least tried to do some kind of noise technique to distract the monsters. Like, it seems so obvious, like, okay, they have very sensitive ears. So some kind of high frequency thing that would irritate someone with very sensitive ears, I would think that the army would have tried that already. I would think that it would not just be some 15-year-old girl that came up with that. Like, you're telling me none of these security experts, military people, nobody thought about maybe, like, blasting some high-pitched frequency across America and, like, destroying them all at once?
Well, it's not. It's a special sound, I guess, and they can't just blast any random sound.
I didn't say any random sound, but I'm sure they have the ability to create a high-pitched frequency.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, like it's just common sense. The monsters the thing is that they can hear really well.
Yeah.
So, like, play something that will irritate them and then kill them while they're distracted. Which is what the main characters do, but I'm just surprised that they're the only ones who ever figured that out.
Yeah. Well, maybe Charlie's dumb and they decided to keep shooting and make noise and they all died.
I mean, that's honestly, the American military, that is probably halfway. Also, is this just happening to America, or is it happening all over the world? Is that established?
I don't know. They do not say anything.
Because they can't cross oceans or anything, so, like, I would think unless different meteors hit different continents, it's just the United States. And, like, people are probably over there in Hawaii just chilling. Like, it probably didn't affect anything that wasn't continental United States.
So, Canada,
maybe, because there's, like, but I don't even know. Do these things reproduce, or was there a finite number of them? I mean, we don't know enough about the monsters.
Well, John Krasinski said, like, every time you kill one, 3 more appear.
He said that?
Yeah, I think he said in an interview or something.
Oh, okay. So are they, like, reproducing asexually or something? Okay.
I don't know.
All right, because that would be my question. Like, and even, okay, if that's true, then is there any solution? Because if you keep killing them and they keep reproducing, I don't understand.
Maybe there's probably going to be, like, a queen or something that they have to kill.
Then they kill, like, the queen. And if they make a third movie, that's probably what it's going to be. Like, if we kill the queen, all the colony will die. And then, I mean, it seems like at least the part of America that they live in, which I think seems to be, like, the eastern part of the United States, is, like, desolate. Everyone is either dead or, like, living like a caveman. So it's like it's pretty rough out there. These monsters have pretty effectively wiped out the population of at least this section of the United States, which is interesting.
I kind of wonder if John Krasinski ever said that the meteors or monsters landed on different countries or anything. Because if I was in Asia or Europe, I don't know if I would do anything.
I wouldn't do anything. I wouldn't do anything at all. What is there? I mean, what can they even do? But, like, I mean, that sounds like it's going on over there.
Well, could you imagine Asia or Europe come over, they take over all the monsters, and now they have government control. They have all their land. They could do that.
I would probably just leave it be. Like, it sounds like that's a you problem over there, America. Have fun.
Fair enough. You did enough.
But anyway, yeah. So I would give it, I don't know, a solid 7 out of 10. How about you?
I would say about 9.
Okay. Well, there you go. Yeah, but I mean, it's at least worth watching. I definitely would say it's worth checking out. It was entertaining and enjoyable.
Yes.
So yes. So thank you for watching. And next time, I'm not sure what we're going to talk about next time, but what movie is coming out next that you want to see?
Well, you want to see Cruella. I don't really want to see that, though.
Yeah, we probably will see that. I think there's a couple other things that are coming out. I have to look. I can't wait for Black Widow. That comes out what, next month?
Next month.
Yes,
So.
definitely can't wait for that one.
But we can see, you know what?
What?
Fast and Furious 8. Yeah.
I thought it was 9.
I don't even know. I
I'm pretty sure it's 9.
track.
I'm
Is it
pretty sure
9?
8 already came out, yeah.
Oh, 9. Yeah.
Because 7 was the last one with Paul. What's his name? Paul Walker. I'm
Walker,
sorry. Rest in peace, Paul Walker. But that was the last one he was in, and they were like, "This is going to be the last one out of respect." And then they were like, "Lol, money," and then and they made 8. So yeah, this is 9.
Lol, money.
So yeah. Anyway, family. Well, no, we definitely, if they make that, if Universal follows through and makes that Fast and Furious Jurassic World crossover, I'm definitely watching the hell out of that for sure.
Oh, that's going to be amazing. Seeing Vin Diesel
yes.
ride.
You're riding freaking Velociraptor, like mecha the Velociraptor robot chasing down. Like, I can't wait. I cannot wait. They cannot go wrong with that. Period. I cannot wait. Please do that. Universal, if you're listening,
Well,
absolutely do that.
They also said for Fast and Furious that it could possibly head to space.
Ooh. Why?
I don't know.
I mean, why not? Why not? That's really the question. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we'll be making more stuff like this as soon as we watch more of the movies. Also, we're always on Twitch streaming various things, so you should check us out there. Obviously, I'm on TikTok, so you can see me there, hear all my bad opinions. And John is also on TikTok, sort of, but he only has one, and I made him make it. So I don't know that he's going to be all that active, but he exists on TikTok now. And so, yeah, all of that fun stuff. So you should come and check us out and hear our bad opinions. Thank you.
And I will post all the links in the description if you want to go follow us on Twitch, TikTok, or follow my TikTok or anything else.
Absolutely. So thanks, and we will see you guys next time. Good chat.